Okay guys, so I'm going to talk to you tonight about intermittent fasting. Okay, you seen my post last week talking about some of the benefits of intermittent fasting. So tonight I thought I'd come on and I'd go into a little bit more detail about what it is, how it can benefit you. We've got some ghosts in here, something's just turned on. Okay, so if you see me looking down, I've got some notes here just because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything and you get all the information that you can. Okay, so first off, I'm going to go through why should you do intermittent fasting and who should do intermittent fasting. Okay, so intermittent fasting is nothing special. Okay, I'm not going to try and big it up to be, this super duper thing that's going to get us all shredded and end world obesity, because it's not. Okay, it's just another tool that we can use to drop fat and to get healthier. Okay, so why do it? Okay, because it can help with adherence. Okay, adherence being the ability to stick with something. Okay, by doing intermittent fasting, you do set times where you can eat and where you can't eat, so it helps give you some goals, give you some guidelines of when you can and can't eat. Okay, it's good for hunger management too. Okay, so if you're finding yourself at the moment where you just can't stop eating, you're just constantly hungry and you want to sort of get a lid on it, okay, then it might be beneficial for you to try one of the intermittent fasting protocols that we talk about in a few minutes time. It's good for someone who's time pressured. Okay, if you're wanting to diet but you've got a very, very busy, hectic lifestyle and that doesn't leave much time for tracking and planning, doing an intermittent fasting protocol would be helpful to be able to manage your calories a little bit better. Okay, benefits of it, it's quite common when you start a diet to have some GI problems. Okay, so a little bit of constipation, a little bit going the runny way. Intermittent fasting doesn't tend to have this. Okay, so it's, it can be a helpful way of dieting if that's something that you struggle with when you diet normally. Okay, as I said before, it's really good for appetite regulation. The way it does this is it helps us more psychologically than physically, but when you've given a time frame when you can eat, it's easier to stick to that time frame. Okay, so you learn to manage your hunger and you learn to listen to hunger signals better than when you were just sort of eating ad hoc. Okay, it can lower blood pressure too. Okay, when you're not eating as much or when you're eating less frequently, I don't know the science behind it, something I'm gonna have to look into, but it's said that you can lower your blood pressure quite considerably by following one of these protocols. Okay, my first thought though when it comes to that is that you're gonna lose weight. Okay, and losing weight is one of the best things you can do for lowering your blood pressure. Okay, next thing I'm going to go on to is managing type 2 diabetes. Okay, if you're a type 2 diabetic, then basically what happens when you're type 2 diabetic is when you eat food, your body doesn't produce enough insulin to dish all this the sugar, what your body breaks down the food into. It doesn't have enough insulin to take this out to the cells that uses it, so it just sits there in the bloodstream and makes your blood really thick, and that's where the problems start to come from. So with type 2 diabetes, because you're not eating as frequently, your body's got longer to deal with those sugars. Okay, so it should help bring your fasting blood sugar, your overall blood sugars down, and it can help with fat loss, as you've probably gathered by now. Okay, the way it does that, it's still, the calories still matter, but because you've only got a set time to eat, then it makes it much easier to stay in your calorie deficit. Okay, so a few questions we get about it. Can you eat anything? Okay, yes, you can. But if in your 8-hour window, which is one of the protocols that I'm going to talk about in a minute, if in your 8-hour window you have a KFC, a McDonald's, a tub of Ben & Jerry's, 4 pints of Stella, then it's quite likely that you're going to go over your calories and you're not going to lose any fat. So while calories still matter, you can be a little bit more flexible with the foods that you eat. Okay, another reason, going back to people who should do it is someone who's, you smaller ladies, okay, you smaller ladies, you have a really low you have a really low basal metabolic rate, okay, so you're gonna have less calorie, you'll naturally have less calories to diet on, so this may be a better option for you. Okay, but going back to where we was going to, okay, about the questions, okay, what if you can't keep to the timings? Okay, with the timings, you can be really flexible with them, okay? One of the protocols is a 16-8, okay? So you're gonna fast for 16 hours, okay? And then you've got your 8-hour eating window. So that you can shift that round however suits your life, okay? One of the most popular ones is 12-8, okay? So you can you fast from 8 o'clock at night round to 12 o'clock lunchtime, well, midday, and then you can eat in that window between midday and 8 o'clock. But if that doesn't suit you, if you at work, you don't have your lunch break till 1 o'clock, or you don't get home till 8:30 at night, and you don't have time to have your tea, then shift it around to suit you. It doesn't have to be a rigid 12 o'clock and 8 o'clock, okay? And it doesn't have to be a rigid 16 hours, okay? It's just having that period of time where you can't eat, okay? How do you train around your fasting? Okay, so if you're gonna fast, you may feel like that you're a little bit more lethargic, okay? So you might want to sort of adjust your training, but this is going to be, a suck it and see. You're going to have to try and find out how you are. Some people train much better fasted, okay? If you speak to some of the people that do our Metcon classes in the morning, or our 8 or 6 o'clock small group sessions, they fast throughout the night and they come and train in the morning, they feel fine. So it's about finding where you're at, okay? So some of the protocols that you can use, okay? So one of the hardest ones, but probably the most effective ones, especially for people that are type 2 diabetic, is the alternating fasting. Okay, alternating day fasting, should I say. Okay, so that's where you have a day of normal eating, and then a day where you go really low on your calories, or you can fast completely, okay? And it's just alternating days, so be Monday, normal day, Tuesday, fasting day, Wednesday, normal day, Thursday, fasting day, and so on. You get the drift, okay? That can be quite hard to adhere to, just because it's constant, okay? But again, it's one of the most effective. Then we've got the 5-2, okay? So basically, you have 5 days where you eat normally, and then your 2 days where you go really low or no food, okay? I've tried this a lot with our Biggest Losers, and we've had really good results from it, okay? So you can basically normal food, or around maintenance, or maybe even slightly above, and then we go really low, okay? Can even go as low as like 600 calories, or even just a whole day fast, if you can manage it, okay? But again, it's trial and error. See what you can manage, see what feels good to you. And then we've got the most common one, the one that I use, which is the 16-8. Okay, I do 1 o'clock till 9 o'clock as my fast, and I find it really good to manage my time. Okay, I get up in the morning. If I'm doing an early shift, I'm busy throughout the morning, so it doesn't really affect me. I don't feel hungry because I'm constantly on the go. Where in the evening, when I get home in the evening, I want to eat. I'm hungry then. Okay, so I've got the time to do what I need to do, and I can eat sort of a little bit more relaxed. I can have a few more treats than I normally would if I was dieting. Okay, so that's it in intermittent fasting. If anyone's got any questions or wants to talk to me about how they're gonna, develop it in their diet, then just hit me up. We'll go through it. We'll have a chat. Okay, cheers guys.